Good side.
Hang on. No, we're not. Okay. I know. But still,
Why do you hold the chair? Take them like.
Wait, no, it's right here.
It's always.
Okay, don't touch it now. It says it's right. Yes.
Very good.
All right, let's call this meeting to order for current. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's like what you said. Probably.
A little bit, a little bit, a little bit. There might be a storm coming in. I know, right? Can I have a roll call, please?
You sure can. Village President Hawkins,
Here.
Ms. Bruni,
Here.
Mr. Detloff,
Here.
Mr. Morgan,
Present.
Mr. Cassini,
Present.
Ms. Worrell,
Here.
Ms. Weedle.
Here. Thank you. Do we have a motion on the table to approve, board minutes from 10/21/2024?
I'll move to approve the minutes from October 21st, 2024 as presented.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, motion to approve meeting minutes, previous meeting minutes from October 21st. Motion is made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
seconded by Mr. Detloff,
Yes.
Ms. Bruni,
Abstain.
Mr. Cassini,
Yes.
Ms. Worrell,
Yes.
Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Thank you. I see we have some public comments.
Sorry.
Kim Raloff.
Ms. Raloff. Kim.
Ms. Janky, I'm Kim Ralph. I live at 107 North Meadow Grant Park. And my question is to Carl. It is what it is. My question to you is this. I have noticed a lot of piles of leaves in the village, and I understand we're not replacing at this time the leaf sucker.
This one.
My question to you is, how many citations have you given out for these piles? And if you don't know where they're all at, I'm happy to get it over. I drove around today wasting my gas to do this, so
I haven't issued any because they're not in violation of anything yet.
why aren't they?
Okay, pause. It's just like snow, so we can rake the leaves up to the end of our street and you
Okay.
can keep them in piles, that's fine. But my reference was to people purposely trying to put them into the street so we would have to clean up. But if people would still like to blow them and rake them to the end just so their yard looks nice, by all means, go ahead, they're just gonna blow everywhere. But yes, no, I get what you're saying, the
You
piles.
understand?
Yes, yes,
That's my
ma'am.
question, because I've noticed a lot, and I've noticed the one guy on Meadow Street has now by Ben's house been dumped at least twice that I'm aware of. And I think the village kind of looks crappy because of it, although I understand what the issue is.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you'd like my list, I'm happy to share it with you. And the minutes from the last meeting, it did say something about the leaf pickup beyond repair, and I do understand. And the no burning, I do have an issue with that because the gentleman behind us on West Taylor that lives where Jason used to live, last weekend was burning. So.
I know they are newer, so if we could just let
That
them
needs to
know.
be addressed.
Yes.
Because they're pretty well, smell pretty bad, so.
Yeah, no, we can, yeah, if they are burning and you would like, I would encourage you to call the non-emergency number.
Okay.
So they can go over there and check to see if they're burning in a proper thing, if they're burning leaves, because you can burn wood.
Right,
You
but
just
this
can't
wasn't wood.
Right, no, I understand what
You
you're
know the
saying.
difference.
Yes,
Wood
ma'am,
between leaves.
I know you do, yes,
I've
no, I
lived here all my
appreciate it.
life, so.
I appreciate it. No, I encourage anyone, if there's any burning that they question, the police have no problem going over there to make sure if it's in the proper burning container and proper whatever. We're not burning leaves, we're not, you know.
Recreational
correct.
Right,
So-
I understand.
No, I appreciate it. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
that was my question.
Yes, ma'am. No,
Thank you for,
that's my apologies about clarifying about the leaves. I just meant like, we're not gonna
there,
have
because a
people
lot of these are in the park.
purposely.
A lot of these are in the parkway.
Yeah,
and Like
yeah.
I said, I think the village looks kind of crappy right now.
I'm not disagreeing, Kim.
It is.
It's 1 year, and
Yes.
hopefully, we're gonna,
I
we're
hope
working
that's
on
all it is, so.
me too. I mean, more power to the next board,
That's all it's gonna be.
more.
Well, to clarify it, I was with Steve today. We have 2 models picked out. I'll
Okay.
get with Gary, prior to, budget in May. And, it'll be one of the 2 models that we're gonna pick out.
Thank you.
So it will be, what I can promise now at the meeting, we will pick up leaves next year. I just don't have all the details worked out.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Next.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I might be missaying this, Gidget Curtis?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Good evening. My name is Gidget Curtis and I represent Sir Protein Nichols. And I came to the village to offer our services as far as our emergency ready plan. What is that? That is a plan that either the custodian of a church or the manager of a property or a business owner that can get a plan that we put on an app on your phone that's a usable plan, that you can dial the numbers for all your emergencies, whatever they are, for each business. And help save the property, because minutes saves gallons, and as we know, when we have a fire, that could be very detrimental to your business interruption. And 50% of businesses that have a fire or a major loss, they never reopen. So we are here to offer our services as well as provide this. And I came to the village to see if I could get permission, because I have done one from a private church that they, required and requested our services, and then I offered for them. So as a community server, I wanted to know if any of the utility, village managed properties like the library, the village, the house, had emergency ready. And I have these for, different areas that we service, and I'll leave them with the board to review. It's very simple. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just to be prepared, because we know when pipes freeze, there's a disaster in schools, especially libraries, the community center where we have the voting, things like that. We want to be prepared. So we want to just let you know who we are, and we're here for you. And that's why I'm here. So I wanted to leave these and see if I could let you just take a look at them.
Yes, ma'am.
At your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is that it for?
that's it.
Oh, okay. Do we have a motion for approval for bills for payment and payroll?
Yes, I move to approve bills for payment dated October 31st, 2024 from the corporate general fund in the amount of $15,075.04. Also dated October 31st, 2024 from the TIF fund, $8,386.19. Also move to approve payroll in the October 26th in the amount of $19,808.96.
56 cents.
56 cents. I read it wrong. Thank you for correcting it.
You're fine.
I'll second.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Any questions? No? Oh,
That's it.
Thanks.
We have a motion to approve bills for payment, dated October 31st. We have general fund in the amount of $15,075.04. Out of the TIF fund, $8,386.19. And payroll ending October 26th in the amount of $19,808.56. Motion is made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
Mr. Detloff,
Yes.
Mr. Pacino,
Yes.
Ms. Whirl,
Yes.
and Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So for department reports, we're gonna go ahead and, skip to engineer reports since Mr. Pagash is in the room. He does have another meeting to go to, so he has an update on projects, current projects, projects coming up. And then if there are any questions regarding any projects, I believe he does have any answers we might need. Go ahead, Neil.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Board, for having me here. I just want to give a quick update on quite a few projects we have going on in the village right now. The West Taylor Street over by the school, bus barn is done. Ran into an unmarked gas service over there. Luckily, it didn't get hit, but we were able to get Nicor out there a day or two later to lower it. So we were able to get that addressed. The North Main Street project is probably about 95% complete. They've got a little bit of grading and aggregate work to do on the west side of the road, but I believe all the other restoration is complete on that. Essen Farm Road, we are coordinating with the school district to replace their entrance this week. I've been in contact with Dr. Palin, he's been great, so they're fully prepared to, he knows it's got to get poured, but we're going to do quick curing concrete so we can get them back through there because that's their only access point, as everyone's well aware, I'm sure. And we're going to be doing driveway aprons this week too. So I'm hoping by the end of next week that we're wrapping up this project for the most part. Because all we've got is some sidewalk and aprons and then topsoil seeding and blanket to do out there. So, so that'll hopefully wrap that project up. One thing I did want to note, I don't know if the village is getting utility permit applications from utility providers like MediaCom. Because what we've kind of found out during these last two path projects is they're installing new facilities in the right of way and not telling anybody. It happened on the one going east of town. They installed a couple of new towers right in the middle of the path. After we had already gone out and done the survey work, we didn't find out until we were out there doing the work, building the project. It happened on Essen Farm recently. We had everything excavated and ready to put stone down, and they went out there and put a tower in the middle of the path. And it's like, I don't know how to handle that, other than maybe the village starting to maybe crack down on permits with these utility providers.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you have a franchise agreement with them,
Yeah.
which grants them rights, but that also still requires a process for them to go through, just so at least we're aware when they're doing that, and we've got a project going on, we can at least have that conversation before the work's done, so we don't have to get them back out there and move it again, because it just, getting utility companies to do anything is already challenging, and then when you've got them doing stuff and not telling anybody, it makes it even more challenging. So that might be something the village might want to take a look at going forward. I don't know if it's just MediaCom, because that's really the only one, normally if Aqua's doing stuff, they tell us,
Yeah.
but just kind of a heads up on that.
Appreciate it.
And then the streetscape project, we just submitted plans to IDOT, so we're waiting on them to do their environmental review on basically non-hazardous waste, is what they can define it as for their state right of way. So we're gonna be waiting on that, so probably won't be out to bid on that until in the spring, because they're just so backed up right now. So that's hopefully the goal with that. And then the park grant for Hilger Park, we should be hearing about, which earlier than normal, usually it's end of January. This year they said December 13th.
Yeah.
They should be making those announcements, so we'll have a good idea. Well, we should know in the next month whether or not we got that grant.
And that's still, I mean, even if we get the grant, that's still not set out to build until 2026, the park one, correct? Is that?
Well, I mean, if the village decides to move forward with the project, I mean, that could happen next year. If we're getting an award in December, we would have to put plans together and bid it out, obviously, but theoretically, we could have that out to bid in late, early summer, early midsummer, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yes.
I have to congratulate you on the water flow on North Main and drainage.
oh,
Seems to be working
good.
really good. And we had rain and
Yeah,
it's doing its job, so.
Well, thank you.
Very nice.
it's always nice to have with the drainage.
Well, I just be happy.
I know.
It
No, I
happened to be,
appreciate that.
happened to be driving by and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's really working.
Yeah.
So I mean,
There's
that's,
no puddle here.
And it was kind of challenging because we were designing the streetscape project at the same time as that project, so we kind of had to really do two project designs side by side, so there was some nuance to
well,
it,
it's
but
a very nice job.
Thank you.
Well done.
appreciate that.
And it was quick, like we found out about it and we had to get it done quick, so.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And no puzzle at the school either.
No, I drove by there this afternoon, it looks good, so.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes in April. You let us know.
Yeah,
You live right there.
My backyard will be flooded. but-
Yeah, the road will not.
so,
Any other questions for Neil while he's here? Future projects? I do want to thank Neil and Pigash Engineering. They did donate to our Halloween event. They did donate a cash donation of $300 towards the hot dogs. So thank you very much for that, Neil. This is not the first event that I have called and been like, hey, do you want to give me a couple bucks? So, Neil's like, send me the flyer, I'll do it. So, yeah.
happy to support the village.
Yeah, we didn't get any signage out, I apologize, but like I said, I was gonna tell everyone here anyways,
That's
so,
okay.
the kids, man, we went through 360 hot dogs, so they loved it,
Great,
yes.
They're all going fast too, aren't they?
They were gone,
We lasted 15 minutes longer than last year, so.
and we had 100 more hot dogs, but we lasted 15 minutes longer,
And as a parent, I truly appreciate it because we need benefits to have.
right? Right after school, they come in, they get that little snack, and then they're good to go, so, I thank you, Neil, for
Yeah.
that, I really do
Part of
appreciate it.
and Stuff like that.
Yes.
We enjoy doing that stuff. so.
Very good job. The work looks really nice.
Thank you.
Everything's
Yeah.
working the way it should, so.
And we
I'm
did,
aware of that light on the path, so.
yeah, it's marked with glue tape now.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Second light.
I've called
I
him
drove by
plenty of
tonight,
times,
so.
he's got it.
Yeah, they're gonna get out, they're ready to get out there today, but it's raining. so.
Yes, yes, no, and then, if you could forward me the electrician's info for future issues with any lighting.
Yeah.
I know Steve wanted to get it, right, correct?
Correct.
Yep,
So, yeah,
yep, I can get you their info.
I appreciate it.
Mhm.
All right, anything else for Neil?
No.
No? Thank you, Neil.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yep.
All right, so now we will go to Clerk Scott Dillon. I can bet you I know what he's gonna say.
Vote early, vote often.
Tomorrow's election day. Get out and vote, people.
Yeah,
Get out and vote.
Tomorrow's the national, state, county election time, not the village.
Not for the village, that's in April. This is presidential.
And times is 6 AM to 7 PM, right at our community center for both districts of Grant Park are in the same building.
Yes, sir, thank you. Anything else?
Yellowhead one's on the west and Yellowhead east is on, or Yellowhead two is on the east.
Yeah, you just need to know which one I'm in, I don't remember.
One is north
Oh.
of Taylor, roughly, two is
You
south of
help me
Taylor.
figure that out when they come in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
And it doesn't
I'm
matter who they come
They have to
to,
help
we'll
you.
all go over there or we'll take care of it.
gonna be one of those. Can you help me?
Yep,
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, good. So yes, if you're unsure, obviously we have plenty of friendly, what do you guys call? Judges?
judges.
Judges to help you out. I mean, I know it's probably not the
I
most
won't
kosher
snarl
thing to
at
do.
you.
Yeah, you can vote for whoever you want to.
I guess I
No
do have
worries.
one other thing, a reminder
sorry.
that, petitions that are out for our next April election for the village stuff. Need to be turned in starting on the 12th of November through the 18th. For the village petitions, that's right here at Village Hall.
They pick them up here, sign them, and then they have to get them stamped here or
It's been-
Stand up.
stamped here? Oh, you have to do a little, right? The seal?
That's, notarized,
Notarized, yes.
and that's not me, I don't.
Oh, Carrie does that.
Carrie,
You're
Carrie
right.
does, but she won't be here.
Oh, you're right. She won't be here.
So
if you
they'll
need it
have to
notarized,
probably
whenever
the bank-
you go-
They
Doug
can
Graves
notar-
does it.
Doug Graves. will
Doug Graves
notarize.
does it, or
Okay.
I believe the first.
He does the
bank has
Still
somebody.
slow. With the time.
With the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
yeah.
stamped with the time, that actually.
Correct. Okay,
And I'll be here the morning of the 12th to do that, because I guess we have,
yes,
a part-time in here helping that's not familiar with it, so.
correct.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Yeah.
One of our very helpful part-timers.
Yep.
Next,
and the stamp is already,
Thank you.
here. It's got the right date. and everything.
I saw that. Yeah, It's ready. Turned in and
New
everything.
stamp.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sparkling.
Yeah, brand new one, man, because their other one didn't do 24.
Ordinances and insurance, Miss Susie Weedle, what you got for us?
No report.
Thank you, ma'am. Streets and Alley Committee, Mr. Frank Pacini, what you got for us?
No report tonight.
Thank you, sir.
And I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
They filled a hole in on, Alma and, Willis Street
Willis.
today.
Okay,
They were told, go ahead and put stone in it because they can't get out from Aqua.
I did speak with Angie from Aqua on Friday. She was unaware of the hole. But we were, she did let us know, we unfortunately are at the bottom of the priority list because we're not missing any water. So just because it's not just a hole, to us, but to them, it's just a hole. Their priority is to get people water started first, so yes.
Well, it's filled in
Okay.
and just to let everybody know.
We were able to fill them with rock.
Yeah, they
Okay.
came out today during the day and filled it in.
Nice, thank you. And then, yes, leaves. The gross, it's just 1 year, couple months. Finance Committee Chairman, Mr. Morgan.
I gave everybody a copy of the kind of, where we're at with the budget. This is mid-year, we're 6 months into it. And a quick look at the revenue budget. And I know you get to print out of everything, but sometimes it's nice to look at a summary. And a couple of key things, real estate taxes were at 97% collected. Usually they send us something more in November and then just a little bit in December and then we're done. The other thing would be sales tax, we're at 60% of that too. Overall, all of our revenue for the corporate general fund, we're at 66, 59, 39% collected. So more than the 50%. And then on the next page with the revenue, nothing really important here, except that the bottom line is that we have already collected 86% of what we believe we're going to get this fiscal year. So that's nice as far as revenue. Then moving into expenditures, just a couple of things in the village, basically corporate department, the corporate fund. We have kind of overspent on legal fees again, but not as badly as we did last year. So that's a little high. We also had more in engineering. We're going to take a look at some of those engineering bills to see if they could also be taken out of one of the other accounts. But right now, that's what accounts for the corporate department being at 72% of expenditures. And then the police department's really only at 54%. And we've had a little bit of a problem there because we're basically paying 2 people to do 1 shift. I mean, we have an injured officer and we're paying his salary, and then we got to pay somebody to actually do the shift. So that's caused us a little bit of anxiety there, but we're only at 54%, so 4% over, that's not horrible. Then as far as the other things, as far as expenditures are concerned, again, streets are at 65, but again, they've had a couple of things like removal of trees. We've had a couple of really serious tree removal problems this year, and they had to come out kind of on an emergency basis. But other than that, that's not out of line either. So bottom line, as far as all the expenditures, we're only at 51%. So that's good. And again, as far as the corporate account, we have enough money in the bank to pay what we're going to owe for the rest of the year. So we're in no real problem as far as the budget is concerned. Did anybody have any questions though? I'd be glad to answer.
This is really nice. Yeah, nice, easier to read.
Yeah, a couple of pages, and
Yeah.
especially with the revenue budget, which goes on for like 3 pages.
I know,
Yeah.
another.
The long one, yeah.
And you get way more information than you really need. So, no questions, but again, if you do have any questions later, I'm always glad to help.
Yeah, if you take it home and then come back next meeting and you're like, hey, Gary, what about this number? By all means,
Yeah.
bring it to
take a
the
look
next
at it.
meeting. We have no, yeah, there's like,
And
it's an
then
open budget, open book.
The next step then is we're going to be ready to start the levy for property taxes. And I'm going to present, hopefully at the next meeting, an ordinance for its first reading. We always allow it to go to a second reading the next month. And then that gives us plenty of time to get it to the county office by the last Tuesday, I think, next to the last Tuesday in December.
December,
So let's do that.
yes.
So that will give us plenty of time to review it. And again, the levy is going to be based on the appropriations ordinance, which we passed back in June, which is based on the budget that we passed back in April. So they all are connected together. If there's no questions about that, I'm done.
Thank you, sir. Okay, community outreach chairman, Mr. Ben Betlaw.
I have a few things. Scott and I were looking at the lighting situation in the community park building. And we want to replace the bulbs with LEDs. So I would like to make a motion to replace the lighting in the building with LED lights not to exceed $185, and the work will be done by Scott and myself.
I'll second.
The work will be done by licensed electricians, known to nobody because we're
Well, all you
not
gotta do is just take the ball
Okay, I'm
and
just
put a
saying.
new one in. So,
paying.
You don't have.
We got a
to do anything
second.
with the ballast?
No.
No.
We're gonna be bypassing the ballast.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Go right in then. Okay.
So he found some online, to be enough to do all of them, and him and I will do the work, and I told Steve about it, but,
That's great.
anyway. So did we,
We have
need to
insurance.
vote on that?
Yeah. Okay, motion to approve, LED bulbs for the community building with a cost not to exceed $185. Motion made by Mr. Detloff,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Mr. Pacini,
Yes.
and Ms. Worrell.
Yes.
The next thing I have is I would like to purchase 200-cup commercial coffee makers for the kitchen. Not to exceed $170. Now, this money will come out of the building repair fund. So the ones that we have in the kitchen now need to be replaced. And, Carrie found a couple online that she can order in their commercial grade, so.
Good.
Second.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, motion to purchase two 100-cup commercial coffee makers for the park not to exceed $170. And that's a total, not each, right?
No, that's a total.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Detloff,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
Ms. Bruni,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Mr. Pacini,
Yes.
and Ms. Worrell.
Yes.
They won't be there tomorrow, will they?
No.
No, you know what, there is one in there.
Okay.
So anyway, next thing I have, just a reminder, next fest meeting be November 20th, 6 P.M. here at the Village Hall. And the last thing I have is next week, Monday, the 11th, we'll have our veterans event at the Community Park Building at 11 a.m. So if you're available, please stop by to honor our veterans on Veterans Day. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Touching on the community outreach, I received a phone call on Friday from the fire department asking if we were going to do the same thing we did last year for the tree lighting. To refresh memories, we went in with the foundation. We did one town tree lighting right here by the tracks. Unfortunately, it was raining, but we had a lot of people that showed up. Fire department showed up with Santa, and it was a whole thing. They called and asked, I don't know if you guys have discussed anything yet or not.
They did at the trunk or treat, he did mention about getting Santa and they were gonna reach out to you and
Yes.
Carrie. So we're gonna let you guys take the lead on that.
Coordinate with the foundation
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
are all the trustees okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Same thing.
We're
I
just
thought
hoping.
last year was very
Yeah, well,
successful.
we're hoping it doesn't rain
Yeah.
again because we almost electrocuted one person back there with the lights. But,
That's right.
Half the tree was out,
Yeah.
half the tree was lit, the kids were like pumping on the box.
yeah, some cooler weather will be fine, but we don't want anybody to
Yeah,
get.
no rain.
injured.
Okay, so I will coordinate with the foundation on that then and the fire department and find out when y'all are doing your tree, not that you're on the foundation, but when your wife is doing the tree.
Okay, sure.
I think it's usually the first Friday, right?
Like 6, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they wanna see if Santa is gonna be in the area.
Okay.
They can make an appearance like last year.
Sure.
We gotta make an appointment.
You're right.
Yeah,
all right, I'll get on Santa's list for that. Appreciate you. That was one of the things I had on here. Okay, next, Buildings and Grounds Committee, Miss Robin Bruni.
I have nothing for this evening.
Only thing I have is updates on the toilets at the park. We're working on a gas ring. There's something wrong with the women's toilets. Also, the women's sink over there is set up for someone who is 3 years old to wash their hands. So I did ask Steve to look into getting an adult size sink that we could put in there on a pedestal because I don't know about anyone else, but I don't like bending over to wash my hands. So, that is in the works. Obviously, we will make the board aware before we do anything, but I just noticed at Halloween how low the sink was, so. Law Enforcement Committee, Miss Morgan Worrell.
We do, we have, the reports and calls for service backed up 3 months, but I have them. So, I'll just read them in order, August, September, October with each line.
Okay.
All right, for accidents and crashes, August 7th, September 6th, October 11. Ambulance calls, 14, 8, and 13. Mental cases, 4, 1, and 1, it's on the downswing.
That's a good thing.
Assisting-
away.
Assisting other agencies, 33, 26, 36, domestic disturbances, 8, 3, and 9. Suspicious vehicle or persons, 2, 4, and 3. The monthly totals for August were 113, September 90, and October 127. And that is all I have.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's really great, the kind of coverage you had for Halloween, that worked out.
Yeah, Halloween went very, very well.
Halloween went well, no incidents, knock on wood, tons of kids out there. I do have something from, Terry Lemming, he's the Beecher Police Chief now. That's not who was there when I left, but okay. Recently, Carl did attend a, Beecher board meeting where one of Beecher's, I'll just read the President Hawkins, back in August, Beecher Sergeant Aaron DeCourt responded to a counterfeit currency call at our Dollar General. He arrived just after they left town southbound. Sergeant DeCourt contacted Chief Fry and together they located the 3 career criminals after they passed bad bills at 2 Grant Park businesses. All 3 criminals were charged with numerous felonies. The first, he sent me a picture, sorry. The first photo above is Sergeant DeCourt getting his commendation. Standing by his side is Chief Carl Fry. Sergeant DeCourt never would have received that award if it was not for the assistance by Chief Fry. As you know, oftentimes the public is quick to criticize police and reluctant to praise them. Chief Fry did a great job, and I wanted you to know the police chiefs don't give themselves awards because they're not allowed to. But Chief Fry is deserving an award and recognition for his job well done. I know this is nothing near what Carl deserves, but I would like to recognize Carl on that actions that he took. I do remember the day that he was like, "We got these counterfeits at Dollar General." I was like, "Holy cow, get it!" So to get 3 people off the streets and to work collectively with a neighboring town is something that we are really proud of. It's not easy to do because they're in a different county. So if they call on the radio, Kankakee County doesn't hear it. So they have to call Will County, it's a whole thing. I mean, it's probably easier just to call on the cell phone,
We have each
but
other's phone numbers.
I was gonna say, usually we just call on the cell phone, but yeah, when you have 2 different counties, it is real hard so for them to be able to coordinate and get that under control. I just want to say thank you to Carl and maybe give him a little round of applause.
Yeah.
For all his hard work. Okay, thank you, Carl. And that was all. That was
Yes,
right,
thank you.
okay, thanks. Okay, so I have review committee winter weather planning for Union Pacific, which is really just a piece of paper from Union Pacific. Understand who we're supposed to talk about it.
Oh,
I was looking for that Union Pacific paper that I just had in my hand.
Yeah, I kind of hoping they were
Here
going
it is.
to do some work on that tracks here before winter.
Oh, I know, yeah. It just says community winter weather planning, preparing together, the safety of employees and communities, customers is Union Pacific's #1 priority. In preparation for upcoming winter, we share the following reminders for weather-related public works operations and public safety. So, JD and, Steve will have a copy of this, the police officers. It just has concerns about clearing, snow off of railroad crossings, the plowing of, like the railroad trains come by with the plowing, public safety reminders, when issuing public safety announcements about winter driving tips, please consider all including. These are common sense things that people should know if you live in Illinois, how to drive in the snow. Union Pacific is available to coordinate any weather winter plans. If God forbid something happens, we can get a hold of them to communicate everything that's happening. So if there are any questions, I guess we can make copies of this. I don't This is new to me. I'm not sure we ever even went over this. Anybody? We're ready now. We're prepared. So I went over that. Halloween, huge, to me, huge success. Huge success. Ben was there with me, my mom in her little witch costume. I know, Morgan came in with Mr. Roman. You guys looked adorable. Your kids were in there. I know the Morgans do their own thing, but Ben was there. We had a lot of kids.
We had a lot of kids. You know, I don't know, we could probably have 500 hot dogs and.
We're still gonna run out.
Yeah, so, but you know, everybody had a good time and that's what counts. It might have taken the mayor several hours to get the glitter off. I was gonna take her to the car wash. And it's just way to.
Except we don't have one.
Well, I was gonna.
The fire department could have hosed me
Yeah.
off or something.
I was gonna wonder how you gonna get this off, but I thought. you know,
I still have glitter in my hair.
If I could say
Yes.
something about Halloween, I think we're becoming a destination now for Halloween. The efforts of the community center. I think the other thing, people feel safe here.
Yes,
That's why we had 4
They
police
come.
cars out.
Yeah, they
We want them to feel safe. I think it's becoming more of a destination, I think, than ever.
I don't mind. I mean, they
No, I
come,
think
they
that's a good thing.
eat. I know our restaurants, I don't know how busy Trex was on Halloween. I'm sure you guys were quite busy, so. I mean, I welcome all the towns that come join our little thing. I mean, as many times as parents are like, we can have a hot dog too. Yes, you can have a hot dog too.
We're
Come on
gonna
now.
keep that up
Everyone.
because the families now like that. They like to come. People sit down, they talk. If they don't feel like walking around with the houses, they can come in there and get a treat and have something to eat. So we're gonna keep that tradition going here.
I think our community really steps up too. Everybody,
Oh, yeah.
people really get into that, so it's a good thing.
It was, yes, ma'am.
I was at the trunk or treat.
Were you?
I
Okay.
was one, yeah, we decorated to
For
back.
the firehouse,
Had
yeah. Mhm.
The stormtrooper, the whole thing, so I saw everybody, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Safest way to do it.
Yes, so I do appreciate, I did start some type of tradition, and that it would keep going so far as what Ben is saying, so I love that. I mean, I'll come back in any costume. One of these years, these kids are gonna know who I am. They didn't know Snow White, they didn't know Disgust.
I had no idea. We watched the movie and I.
Cannot.
I knew Snow White though, so up on that.
But yes, so for Halloween also, we did get donations from, Pigash Engineering did donate some cash. The Grant Park, Baseball Softball Youth Association donated all that candy. And when I tell you candy, I mean like full-size Red Vine licorice bags. You know how many adults came over? They're like, can we get some of these Red Vines? I'm like, yes, I know you adults love them. I know JD grabbed quite a few. And then, of course, like I said, Ben was there with me and my mom. God love my mother, if you saw the balloon arch, she, tied all those balloons and blew them up with a machine and her arthritis. I told her not to, but she doesn't listen. Yes, I didn't, normally Carol's taking pictures, but Carol wasn't there. I was busy doing stuff. I wasn't taking pictures. Ben was handing out hot dog. It was just a good time. Good time. So then, that was on Thursday. On Friday, I had, been contacted by one of our local, Girl Scout troops. How old are they? 7 and 8 or 6 and 7? 6 and 7, 7 and 8. They wanted to come and meet the mayor of Grant Park, the town they live in, and they wanted to find out how to become the mayor, what the mayor does. And I think they ended up learning a lot more than they realized, because yes, we have a mayor, but we also have 6 trustees that they found out about. We have the administrative assistant. So they were here from 4:30 until 6:30. Ben came up. And the girls learned and asked a lot of questions, explained to them about voting, which was the cutest thing in the world, because they had no idea how it worked. So now they understand you vote for what you like, not what you don't like. But yes, so they were all asked to draw pictures, and some of them did allow us to keep the pictures. So I asked them if I would be able to show their pictures at the meeting on the YouTube channel. And they were so excited because then they could have their parents watch this whole probably 40-minute video for 2 seconds of their child's artwork. So this is, from Miss Astrid. She drew a picture of myself and, the Girl Scout troops and the flag. A lot of the girls, it was so cute. A lot of the girls drew flags and pictures, if you wanna pass that down. This one is from, this is a picture of me as the mayor. She got my glasses, my bun, everything. This is Miss Tessa. Tessa drew me. That's exactly what I looked like that day too. I had my little red jacket on, I think, instead of blue. This one, she got my bun too. This is from Miss Sophia. I know, right? No glasses, just the bun, super cute. Miss Sophia was here. This one is from Miss Jillian. They all had the flag, which I love, the American flag in there, along with, there it is, along with the mayor. And then she drew some of my people that helped me. So that was very cool. This one is Daisy. This was the cutest little, she was probably the youngest. She is a Daisy, I believe, and her name is Daisy. She was the cutest little thing. It's probably the smallest one out of the whole group. She drew that one. And then this one is from Emma. I won't say her last name, but she told me she loved me. She also had my bun on there and a flag and some hearts. This one is from Shelby J. She has the mayor girl, another girl, a boy and a flag. And then these must be people that I'm helping saying hello in the door. I'm trying to hold it straight. That is super cute. And last but not least for me is, Miss Marley. Her and my mom, me and her mom are best friends, she says. Miss Marley also got my bun and my glasses in there, and yes, she is just loving it. And then Mr. Detloff has a couple.
I have a couple here. This is from Audrey, so I took my glasses off and you can see how much it looks just like me. So. And this one here, I'm not sure on the name, but you can tell from all the walking that I do, how much it's paying off, because that is me on top of this.
That's tiny Ben up there on the top of the building. Oops, hold it down. On the top of the building, pick up camera. There it is. On the top of the building with the flag. So yes, these little
But
ladies, these young
Yeah, we
ladies.
really appreciate it. They had a good time. Yeah, that's many Ben up
That's
there.
many Ben up there. Yeah. So it was a good time. I did invite all of them to come to a meeting anytime. I said, if you come to the meeting with your parents, I by all means will introduce you to the meeting. You can be a guest up here and sit at the table with us if you would like. A couple of them, their moms were not surprised that they were probably gonna be politicians. So it was pretty cute, pretty funny. So yeah, that was, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. And I believe Ben did too. He was smiling, trying not to, he was being serious, trying not to smile, but I saw him smiling, so. Thank you. Seaboard Solar has been trying to get information from the village. They have some properties in here. I will pass this around to the trustees. I think there's 2. Oh, there's more than, there's 3. There are some properties in here that they would like to do solar farms on. None of them are our properties. I guess Carrie is saying the question, they just want to make sure if they inquire at these properties with the property owners, would the village be okay having, a solar farm there? You want to pass, that has the addresses, that you can take a look at. So I told them I would pass it out at the board, give them our input. Like I said, none of them are actually village properties. There's like 8 of them in here. They have the GIS codes. So you guys can take a look. We can discuss it at the next meeting, or if you want to send an email to Carrie with any of your feedback or input, we can make more copies. Not for the village. Yeah, it doesn't affect us, but they just want to make sure we wouldn't object to it, which I feel like that's great, because even if it's not in town limits, but
And
it's
the
still.
addresses I see, I believe all this needs to go through the county.
Yeah, no, I know, they were just doing a courtesy of
Yeah.
making sure we would be okay with it. They don't want our small town to be surrounded by a bunch of solar fields if we don't want it to be surrounded by a bunch of solar fields. And I appreciate that. Other companies, I feel like will probably just go out there and try and make money and surround us by solar fields. What are you doing? Oh, I'm not done yet. Also, just so the board is aware, I know we did discuss it previously at a meeting. There is a petition for disconnection of territory upon border from Miss Melissa and Mr. and Mrs. Pacini, for crying out loud. It is the property we discussed that's over there by the co-op. They do not have they do not get any aqua services out there. We do not plow out there, but they are considered part of the village. They are asking to be unannexed. All the information will go to the trustees on the proper steps. And then, of course, when this comes to a conclusion, Mr. Pacini will be stepping down. Anyone can have one of these if you want. We can make more copies. I don't need all 3 copies if anyone's interested in looking into it. So we will be going forward with that. Let me guys keep it. I don't care. I'll just throw it in my file. With the Pacini property, the attorneys have all that information already. So we have that. Okay, I was reviewing some of the meetings. I do review them and then I post them on Facebook. I am behind like 2 meetings or 1 meeting. I did notice that at one of the meetings I was not at, or I had to leave early, we discussed late fees for our bills that we pay. And it's not only signatures that were causing us to have these late fees. Sometimes Carrie would not send the bill out until getting approval from the board. So say we had a credit card bill that was due, if we didn't have a meeting to be approved by it, she would hold it for the next meeting. So then obviously we would get a late fee. That was another reason why we were getting late fees. The signatures did help, but that was not the only reason for the late fees. I do know a lot of people lately have been inquiring about the budget and how the budget works. So where is that? Just a quick budget for dummies, not meaning anyone's a dummy. I just meant it as the book. My apologies as soon as I said it. So this is the budget I'm referring to. This is the budget that we have. 380. This is our budget that our daily payments come out of, such as bills for payment. Streets and alleys has a budget, the police department has a budget, and the village hall has a budget in this. So any money that the village is talking about is gonna come out of this budget. When we do projects such as Taylor Street project, the drainage project, the Main Street drainage project, that's being paid out of, SRLF funds. It was also, that one was just SRLF funds. There was no 80-20 split on that one, I believe. But that was SRLF funds that were not ever included into this budget.
But they are, they're in their own separate.
Right, they're in their own separate field, but it's not part of our everyday paying. So then also the MFT budget, the motor fuel and tax budget, we use a lot of that budget to pay for things like gravel, our salt products for the year, gravel. That budget is very specific on what we can spend things on and what we can use that for. Neil does a lot with that budget. He helps us spend a lot of it, but he also keeps track of it because on the MFT budget, we do also get audited on that every year to make sure everything was spent in the correct.
Plus there are quarterly reports. that
Correct.
He basically fills out and we approve.
Correct. So he does that. Another thing we get money to pay for projects is our TIF money.
Yes,
TIF money is generated by taxes.
it's generated by taxes, but basically we take it away from the other taxing bodies in the area.
So it's not coming out directly from
No.
our everyday budget. The COVID funds are the SRLF funds I was speaking of, and then we have our Aqua corporate funds, which is also not part of this, but it isn't, correct?
Sewer,
The-
yeah, the
yes.
sewer,
The sewer account that
And the
has
fact
money
that
that
we-
we don't touch in it.
right.
Okay. So I just felt like it just seemed to come up after if you rewatch a lot of the meetings, that's just a lot of recap of things that came up that I was like, oh, we talked about this a lot, let me just discuss it. So if there are any questions from the board or from the audience, or if anyone on TV would like to email us a question, I'm okay with that. But just explaining that the budget is one budget, but it really isn't one budget. And it's also, we consider it a working budget because we can pull from others. We do not have to stick with it as if it was a black and white budget. Say the police department needed something, we could take something from streets and alleys and move it to the police department and still have an even budget, but obviously, streets and alleys is gonna miss that money, so. Is that too much? Okay, I apologize. I was just, I'm telling you, once you watch all the videos, you're like, man, look we talk about this a lot. I just felt like it just needed to be touched on again. I don't know if anyone has any comments or anything. No? Okay. So is there a motion to, hold on, there was one more. Nope, that's it. We have a motion to go into executive session? No? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn. Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion or meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.